Once upon a time, there lived a big animal. Guess what it was?
A lion?
No, not a lion.
But isn't a lion classified in the big five category?
Yes, but name the big five.
Buffalo, elephant, cheetah, leopard, and lion.
Okay, then let me continue my story. But then, let me not say my story. Let's hear it from Once Upon a Time.
The Poetry Contest. Once upon a time, the lion, the king of the forest, would have his court read poems to him. The lion loved poems. His court would read poems to him every morning when he woke up. He thought it was a wonderful way to start the day. When the court started to run out of new poems and just read their old poems to the king, he became very bored and tired of hearing the same old rhymes. He decided to have a poetry contest in the forest. The winner would receive a medal and all the food they could eat for a whole year. All the animals in the forest were thrilled to hear about this contest. They started to get out their pens and pieces of paper right away. They wanted to be as creative as possible for the king. Some animals wrote about the sky or the ocean. Other animals wrote about their daily lives. After a few weeks, the day of the poetry contest arrived, and almost all of the animals in the entire forest attended this event. One by one, they approached the king and read their poems to him. The king was very pleased with the poetry he heard. He appreciated the time and effort everyone put into this contest. It would be very difficult for him to pick a winner, because many of the poems he heard were incredibly beautiful and creative. It was the hyena's turn to read his poem. Unfortunately, it didn't sound nice and pleasant like the other competitors' poems. The animals were horrified because the hyena's poems was about making fun of the other animals. He made a joke about the elephant's big ears. He laughed at the giraffe's long neck. He wrote about the ducks and the squirrels, the bears and the birds, but not in a very nice way. The animals didn't like his poem at all. They gasped and whispered among themselves as the hyena read on. When he finally finished, the entire forest was silent. No applause could be heard from the crowd. Everyone looked up at the king to see his reaction. They couldn't believe what the hyena said about them. The lion listened to the hyena's poem patiently, and when he was done, the lion said,
"Why would you write such a poem?"
The hyena looked at the king confused.
What?
He said,
You said write a poem, and I did.
"This, sir, is not a poem,"
said the king sternly.
"You have said impolite and hurtful things about the other animals in this forest. I do not approve of anyone offending another animal in my kingdom."
But it was only a joke,
pleaded the hyena.
I didn't mean to hurt anyone.
"Sometimes comments that you think are funny may not be so funny to someone else,"
said the lion.
"Choose your words carefully, because you never know who you might be offending. I'm sorry, hyena, but you are disqualified from this competition."
The hyena looked up at the king with sadness in his eyes, but he understood what he did. He looked back at the unhappy crowd and said,
I'm really sorry, everyone. I thought I could make everyone laugh by writing jokes, but instead I wrote some really hurtful things about all of you. I promise never to do it again. I hope you can forgive me."
The crowd whispered to each other for a few moments and decided to forgive the hyena for his mistake. The hyena learned a very important lesson that day. If he didn't have something nice to say about someone, he didn't say anything at all.